I'll worry about it later. Comes to that. If it comes to that, I'll worry about it later. Thank you, though. Yeah. This stuff set up. Hmm. 7:30. I'll give I'll give him a minute. Huh? There. Still there. Hopefully everyone's surviving the heat. Heat and humidity. Really all fun. Okay, it's 7:31. Sean has walked away from the computer. Um, Hope everyone's doing all right. It's not a very small group tonight. They're all going to come in just as we begin. They're going to be shocked and amazed. Okay. Uh, Hopefully you got a hold of me if you want your shirt somewhere else beside the Sylvania location. Okay. What I'll do tomorrow, I will be up and I will be taking all the shirts to the Sylvania location. And anyone who has reached out to me to either get it in one of the other stores, Perrysburg, Finley, Delta even, let me know if you haven't yet. And if you are not in the area, which some people aren't, we can mail it to you. So we can make sure you get your shirt. But I will be around the stores and dropping them off, and they're open tomorrow. So they'll be there probably around lunchtime or so, and then after. Um, so yeah, just remember that. And if you go tomorrow's group run at the Sylvania store, you can pick it up right there while you do your group run too. We're going to have our 6:30 p.m. Monday run day from the Sylvania store, 6:30. Probably run the bike path, the new bike path that again goes from US 23 that exit there on the Mill Street all the way out down and out to Main Street in Sylvania. Follows the Ottawa River too. It's kind of cool. So if you don't have anything going on tomorrow for your run, 6:30 p.m. We'll be at the Sylvania store. And you can pick up your shirt too before we run. Okay, so let's get into this week. As you can see on the calendars, we're down to the last 3 weeks here. We're on week 8, and this is a couple more where we have that red day there, the G4 miler you see. So I was telling in my Zoom meeting with the my group, virtually distance runners, the novice training group, these last week, the week we're just finishing up this week, and even for them, next week are kind of big weeks. And this week will be a big week for everybody because whether we're taking on more the intermediate and the advanced guys are going to start repetition training, which now is going to be doing some foot speed work. So we're going to see how that goes this week. So we're kind of switching gears again to get ready, sharpen up a little before that race. Okay? So the novice plan, we're doing very similar to the week before on Monday. 5-minute run, 2-minute walk 5 times. Now we're doing 5-minute run, 1-minute walk 4 times. Okay? So the amount you're running goes down by 5 minutes from 25 to 20 minutes. But, it is? Should I yell? I don't know. Okay. There's nothing to this. Same microphone. All right, I'll yell louder. I'm probably talking too softly. Let me know if you can hear me though. Thanks, Gary. That's 20 minutes, and then that's less rest. You're getting half the rest though, only from 2 minutes to 1 minute. So that would be a struggle. That's going to be the main thing there is as cutting that rest down to get the runs closer together for continuous running purposes. Then we have a 5-minute walk, 12-minute run on Wednesday. So now we're going from 10 to 12 minutes of a straight run. So that'll be good for getting there. We're getting there, we'll get you around a mile or so. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less, but at least we're getting there. And then Thursday for you guys, again, we'll do 2 miles like you did the week before. But this time, you're going to do a whole mile in the beginning of a run, which would be around 12 minutes like you did on Wednesday, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. Probably will be a little slower because you have more after it. So if you get that mile run in, you'll do an 800-meter walk, and then you'll finish off that second mile with an 800-meter run. So you're kind of doing 2 miles, mile run, 800 walk, 800 run, and that'll give you 2 miles total. Okay? And then we bump up the Saturday run to a full-on 20-minute run. And again, take it easy on the beginning. And now go into this week a little bit more in depth with my group on Tuesday. Want to touch base to get the big picture going. It's a little better. Okay, good. Thank you, Renee. I'll keep my voice up. My family will be excited and happy to hear. Okay, so our intermediate plan, which is the bulk of the entire program, we got another fartlek coming at you. Try to not do tempo every single week. Break it up with some fartleks in there too. It's always good. And you can see we're shortening up the time so we can go a little quicker. Instead of, like in week 3 where we did 2, 3, 3, 4, 3, 3, 2. 3 is going to be the big one, and you only have 1 of them. The rest are going to be mainly 1s and 2s, and you're going to take a minute off between each one. So you should be able to go a little quicker than we were several weeks ago with the other, or the 3 on 1 off on week 5 too. You'll go a little quicker on these because we're definitely cutting it down a little to get some speed. Trying not to cut down the overall mileage. 5K programs, we really don't do too much mileage, and we don't want to cut back too much because we cut back too much, then there's really not much to do, and we go from feeling fresh to feeling stale. Marathon training is a little different because you're doing so many miles. You definitely cut back a little just to freshen up the legs. But 5K training, I'm not a huge proponent of cutting too much mileage out because then you go from feeling fresh to feeling stale. So it'll be a little bit of a modest drop. You might not even notice a whole lot. As you can see, like we're going to do our longest long run of the week on Saturday with 8 miles in 75 minutes. But even the next week, the week before the race, we're only dropping to 6 miles. Still want to do a decent long run. And that's kind of what I mean by that. We want to keep some of these runs still up there, keep the mileage a little bit at a decent clip. Thursday is when we start repetition pace. So Thursday you have 10 400s. Now the advanced schedule will be doing the same thing. The reason why I'm bringing in the advanced schedule is I'll just explain it both the repetition pace at the same time. They're doing 12, advanced is doing 12, intermediate is doing 10. So repetition pace, if you look at the pace chart that you'll find in the files section of Training Tilt, you can see repetition, the last thing on the bottom. That's a pace that's going to take you into oxygen debt early. Like you're going to be, sucking in air, trying to get as much air as possible, because you're getting close to a sprint. So, your body obviously ain't getting enough air to keep that speed going and get enough oxygen to go to the systems. So what it's going to do is you're going to be grabbing a little more air than normal. Okay. They're helpful, as it says, for leg turnover and general speed, although not critical for longer distances such as marathons and halves and such like that. It still provides a little pop in your stride and promotes proper form. Repetition pace is a little more important, obviously, for 5K training, 10K training, because you do need that foot speed a little bit more so than you would in a marathon. So these are going to be, feeling that sprint mode out. That's why the rest goes to 2 minutes, because now we're looking for more quality of a workout. So quicker, faster pace with more rest, so you can come back and do that pace again. Because what we don't want, like when you're running a normal I pace and interval pace, the idea is to tire you out some, so you're still got that elevated heart rate when you start the next one to keep you up. These, though, we want to bring you down and let you get your breath and everything back under control before you go out and hit another one. So that's why we're bumping rest from 1 to 2 minutes now, even though we're only doing a 400. It's because we want a little more quality out of these. So, the pace, it's really hard to give you a specific pace for these, because you are going at your own foot speed ability. So I always tell people, the interval pace is 20 to 30 seconds faster than your goal pace, depending on the distance, like your goal 5K pace. This is going to be around 45 maybe seconds. It can even be a little quicker if you're doing shorter distances, like 200s. Sometimes people get up to a minute, faster than the race pace, but they're only going 200 meters also. So if you're running, 6-minute miles, and so you got to do a 90-second quarter, 45 seconds for 200 is not going to be that fast for you. Probably, almost have to cut it down to like 5-minute pace per mile. You almost have to do like 37-minute quarter or something like that to get some benefit out of it, to get that turnover. So I leave that up to you and some of your coaches to kind of give you some guidance on that too. I don't like to put a hard and fast pace down there, but it usually goes from anywhere to 45 to 60 seconds. And that just depends on your quickness and your speed. Some people have a little bit of a gear, and if you're like me, you don't have that big of a gear to get to kind of get there, but not really get there. Don't worry. What I don't want you doing, though, is overdoing it and tweaking and hamming or anything like that. So you got 10 or 12 of them to do. Get into it. Use the first couple to kind of find a good rhythm, a good pace, and then slowly work down to get faster. Don't think number one, it's got to be right out of the gates. If you wanted to average like 42s for each one of them, you don't have to get out of the gate and go right at 42. Okay, you can start at 45 for 200. The same thing with the quarter that you're doing on Thursday. You don't have to get out of the gate and do a minute 30 for each quarter. You can start at a minute 35, minute 40, and get to that minute 30 in the first 2 or 3. Okay, so ease into it a little bit more, especially for these faster ones. Okay, so that's kind of the intermediate plan. We cut down the Wednesday run by 10 minutes, 40 minutes. So you're getting a little break there. But as you can see, everything else is kind of staying the same. Okay, all right, and then the advanced. You got a big fartlek tomorrow. I'm not gonna lie to you, that's definitely a bit of a monster one compared to everybody else. The intermediate, I think, was about 15 minutes of fast stuff, the minutes on, so to speak. Now the advanced is going to be like 24 minutes of hard stuff, and that's kind of a close to the max. I don't like going over 25, 30 minutes for a fartlek for the on cases. I usually try to keep it around 20 to 25 minutes. When we're in the thick of it. So that's going to be hefty for you, okay? And then you're still doing 6 on Wednesday like you have been the last month. 12 by 400, that's a little cut down in the overall distance. As you see, you're not really doing 4 miles anymore or over 3. This one just 3. When you're doing repetition pace, that's another point to bring up, is that you can't do a lot of distance at repetition pace. Like 3 miles is probably the max because you can't run that fast constantly. Your legs just get whooped. So we try to keep it between 2 and 3 miles for most of these. And actually, the shorter the distance is, the less I like to do mileage-wise. So if you're doing 200s, I try to keep it around 2 and 2.5, just because when you're going that fast, your legs get heavy and tired quickly. So we try to keep it so you can feel sharp and get through it and not feel like your legs are just trash. Because you'll be tired enough just with the 12 or 10 at a good quick pace. And then you're doing your longest run on Saturday, you're actually hitting double digits. So you're going to go to 10 miles. So that'd be a good long run for a 5K, which is like the max long run. I think I would ever do for 5K, 10 to 12 miles. 10's plenty. So again, if you have questions, reach out to your coaches, reach out to me. If that's going to be for this week, those will be the plans. Okay? All right. I don't see anything on the chat that's any big questions to go through. So let's take a look at a couple other things we want to look at. Now, Evan Gaynor, I saw a Gaynor here somewhere. So yeah, they're still here. Evan gave us an article to read for everybody here. And you will find that in our articles section. No, files section, sorry, not articles, files. Takes a minute for it to load up on my computer. Now you see sleep article here. This is written by Evan. He will hop in again and give us articles to read over his thoughts on things. What I'd like you to do is take the time to read it. Sleep is an often overlooked part of training, any exercise activity, and especially when you get into it and you're exercising daily, whether it be running or fitness plays or biking, whatever. You're doing activities like this every day. Sleep's always important. It's important in general, but it becomes paramount when you're training. It's a good chance for your body to recover and repair and get itself back to normal somewhat, and resting and shutting it down. So don't neglect to sleep. Take a minute to read that sleep article. We could be coming back to that in the next week or so. Okay? I just wanted to point that out. So that's in the files section. Don't forget about that. And I'll put it in the email too to remind everyone about it as we go through the week. Now also, if you go to the video section, I've been posting on the chat and email. All 5 videos are up, all 5 strength videos from Jeff Swartz and Dana Pirowitz. The first 4 are there, and then you can see the first one. They're all numbered. Now, this is going to be our next challenge for this week. Okay? This challenge is called Strength in Numbers. Okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to attempt to do what you can do in each of these videos. So you start with day 1 tomorrow, and if you can get through day 1, you move on to day 2. That's what we're going to do. So when you do day 1, put it in your notes, your runner's notes, so your coach can tell, and they can give you credit for day 1. You get a point. You'll get a point for each day you complete. So you have to do each one of them, and you can get 5 points. So you can't do the same one over and over and over. That's the nice one, the one you like the most. Now, you do have an exception. Once you do all 5, you do 1 and 2 tomorrow, because there's only a couple exercises in each one. You can do several of them. You can do a couple videos a day probably. But once you do all 5, then you can go back and do the extra, any ones you want as many times as you want for extra points. Okay? All you do is just write the video you've done in your client notes, athlete notes, and we'll pick it up from there. We'll take the points from there. So video 1, video 2, video 3, video 4, video 5. And just go through those. Now, I've looked at all the videos. I'm not going to say I did all the videos, but I've looked at all the videos, and some have tools you will need, so to speak. Like you can see the picture of the first video. She has one of those big old exercise balls, physio balls. Those are pretty good to have just in general, like $15 or so online or something. We have a couple in our, like one in our house bouncing around. but they're good for these exercises. If you don't have it, there's some exercises without it on. So that's basically my point. If you get to a video and you're like, well, I don't have this, I don't have that, then you can do some of the ones, if some things you do have, then that's good enough. Like one of the videos, you need one of these, like a band. We have them here because I have 4 kids and they're in everything, running to soccer. So we probably have every piece of exercise equipment you could have around the house. Okay. You can do, Mary has a question, do day 1 tomorrow or 2. You can do day 1 and 2 tomorrow, and you can do 3 and 4 tomorrow. I don't care how you do them, but before you go and replicate any of them, like do 1 again or do 2 again or 3 again, you have to do you have to do all 5 at once. You have to try to do all 5. That's for us. We just want you to check out all 5 and see what you can do. The 5th video will be the hardest one to try to do because there's only really a couple exercises you can do on your own, because some of them, they use this, they call it what do they call it? A mobile board. It's like a board where you can put all of your toes except your big toe through it, and you have to kind of use your big toe because that's like one of the big functioning toes when you're running, actually. They showed that to me a couple months ago. But you'd actually have to buy the mobile board. That's not something you can like rig at your house, like a step or something you could do for like, lunges or something like that, or step downs. And we can find those in our house. But that you might not be able to do, but there's still a couple exercises in there you don't need anything for. So that's basically it. If you go through each video, they're only like 2 to 3 minutes, and see what you can do. Complete as many as you can of the exercises in it. Like I said, most of the exercises, there's like several, and that's it. It's not like they go through 20 exercises. They go through like 3 to 4 max. So you do those and let the coaches know, and then we'll add up. We'll keep track of your points, and it'll be something to do. These are very good exercises for runners to keep you healthy and strong and keep you off the injury table, so to speak, and get you faster actually, and be able to train better, not just for injury prevention. Okay. And speaking of challenges, don't forget today is the last day for Sweet Tooth Challenge. I will unfortunately be getting 1 point out of this. I lasted for a day and a half, maybe 2 days, and then it just went downhill quickly. Once I fall off the wagon, I fall off the wagon hard. We're not going to get into how much sugar that is. It was a lot. So hopefully you did better than I did. Sean did. She kicked my butt. She only had 1 thing all week, so she gets her 5 points. So shout out to her. I'll get her a discount at days too. That's because I work there, so it doesn't matter if she's shit or not. So, but the rest of you, after later tonight or tomorrow morning, put it in your Sunday notes or email your coach. Just give us a total number of the sugary treats you had, and we'll assign the points to you, and then we'll add it all up. And I'll get an email out tomorrow with the results, see how we did. My virtually distance runners, they're on fire right now, on fire. So we'll see. We'll see if the Corona Crushers or the Tempo Exotic or the Zoom Bombers or Essential Runners can look at that. So bring it. We're ready. And we're ready for next week. They said, my team already said, they've already started on the video. They're in like video for it, I think. No, I'm just signing out. They just sign out about it like that. Okay, so anyway, that's the challenges. So don't forget, Monday, the latest morning, get the Sweet Tooth total into us so we can tabulate all that up and see who's the team winner this week. A couple last things. One major not major, but Jeff Swartz, Swartz, and I'll have it in the email too, will be taking over for Dana this week because Dana's going on vacation. All right, and Dana will not be there Wednesday, but Jeff will be online on his Facebook Messenger on Wednesday. His hours will be 7:15 to 9:15. He's in the office till 7. And I'll have all this in the email, and I'll put it in the chat to remind everyone. So if you have an issue or you want to talk to a PT about something, He will be online 7:15 to 9:15 on Facebook Messenger on Wednesday also. So make sure you know that, okay? And I'll make sure it's in writing too, because not everybody's on here, obviously, for the meeting. So just want to make sure everyone's aware. Speaking of being on vacation, I and my wife will not be at the next Zoom meeting because we will be out of town next weekend. So we will not have a Zoom meeting next Sunday. And I'll put that in writing to you in an email. We'll cancel next Sunday's Zoom meeting, and I'll send out an email Sunday going through the week and what we're doing and what the expectations are and what the new challenge will be and stuff like that. So you'll get an email. It just won't be a Zoom meeting because we're going to be out, and I don't know how what my internet activity will be. But anyway, I'll stay in touch. Don't worry. So I'll leave it to the coaches in the weekly Zoom meetings following next week to kind of get you up to speed on anything else. Okay, so next Sunday we'll all get a break from looking at me, and you'll be able to see what's going on Sunday at 7 o'clock. You can walk around and see what's going on at 7:30. That's the main things. One other thing to mention is Monday, we opened up our fall training program. Just a quick show you that. This is our fall program we have here. It's online under our training programs on our Dave site. I'll probably include the link in the email too that I send out tomorrow. This is not a 5K program. So if there are people who don't like going beyond a 5K right now, don't feel they're comfortable with it, this would be a little bit more mileage. We do have a beginner program. We call it Open Pace program for half marathoners because, we're not really a beginner runner. We're still runners, but you might have never run anything over a 5K, 10K and want to try a half. So we call it an Open Pace, low mileage group where we kind of ease you into a half marathon and get you to, that's the goal, is to get you to complete 13.1 miles now instead of a 5K. That's now the program that would start you off. So if you are interested in like moving up, this would be a great way to do it because it's going to be in person or online or both. If you don't want to go in person, you just want to stay online, we're going to be online like this. And if you want to meet in person, we're going to meet twice a week for a workout and for a long run. You can meet, you don't have to. You can meet someday, you can do both. But we're going to offer that both what do you want to say, abilities to go in person or to do this online, remotely training. Okay, and sign up starts now, and we kick that off the day after this is over. So the day after the G4 mile, this starts up and it runs all the way for 14 weeks in November. So this will be a little longer, 4 more weeks. And the good thing is with you guys, you already know this program, the training platform, so you're all set. You won't have any problem with that. And I got to show this because we just got this marked up yesterday. This is nice. And we have, this is our gear. It's going to be like a tech hoodie. It's like if you did our holiday training program, we had red ones last year. This is going to be a navy blue one. It looks pretty cool. I already want one. And so I'm going to sign up just so I can get some. Yeah, I'm going to do this one. But anyway, that's if you're interested. If you have more questions about it, Churchill's this year is a good question. I'm in contact with the race director a lot. He is doing everything in his power to make it in person. So right now, it is a go for in person because it's all the way in November. That's the goal, is for us. The 14 weeks would take us, I think, to the second Saturday in November, second or third, and then it's Churchill's, whatever that is. It's like the 19th or the 14th. I can't remember. But yes, the idea is for it to be in person. The race director is wanting it in person and doing everything he can to make it happen. So whatever we have to do to try to make that happen, we're going to. And we're hoping that it will be in person too, but as you well know and I well know, we're hoping to wait and see. And that's why this program, we're going to do both. We're going to do it remotely and we're going to do it in person. So if something happens and maybe we got to shut down for a week or two, no one's allowed to meet in groups for a while, we can at least still do it remotely. So there won't be like any cancellation of the training program. You just might have to maybe go remotely for a week or so if Lucas County or something like that says you need to step back from groups. But we have it in such a way that you would have to roll back all the way complete shutdown because we're going to do 10-person type groups of pods with your pace groups. So we have it worked, so it would have to go to a serious shutdown for us to not meet anymore. Is it a point per exercise? No, it's a point per video that you attempt to do. So whether you do all 3 exercises and only able to do a couple, that's not, we just want you to try it, attempt each video. And these are exercises we want you to see and maybe you can use later on and add to your, regimen to keep you healthy and safe. So no, it's just a matter of you going through the video and trying to do what you can do. That's all we really want. We're not holding you to every single exercise. Just go through the video and see what you can do, and that'll get you a point. Okay. Those are good questions. That's a good question, Kathy and Mary. So yeah, there are a max number of points per day. Well, you got a rest day and you want to go through all 5 videos and get a good workout in, you can. That's fine with me. Because there are rest days in there and a lot of people do different activities. No problem there. Just don't overdo it. Don't get yourself hurt trying to accumulate points. Use our head a little, okay? I know some are overachievers. We got to always put the brakes on some of you. All right. It's Churchill's is. Let me see the exact weekend they want to shoot for. I know some are the 14th. Yeah, that's the weekend they're shooting for is the 14th, Saturday. So that would be 14 weeks from when we start, and that's our goal is to get the Churchills. And our Run Toledo are trying to get races going too. And so what we'll do is we'll try to shoot for 1 race each month too, because people are dying to get out and start racing again. So once we get some clearance, we'll start doing that too. We'll start looking at races on the calendar and hopefully get to those also. Okay? Do the same video multiple times after the initial 5. Yes, you do. So like you do all 5 videos and you do the video 1 10 times because you really like video 1 and you're into those exercises, yeah, you get 10 points out of it. We'll do that for you. Yep. We want you guys to get strong, so why not? Just be careful with it. Don't do anything crazy. Self-hurt. Other questions? Other questions, concerns? We're going to get a break, it looks like, from the 90s for this week, maybe high 80s now. So I guess look at the bright side. It's not going to be as hot as it was the last week. Still going to be warm. So hydrate, be careful, and all that good stuff. Otherwise, we will see you in our team Zoom meetings. And remember, no Zoom meeting next Sunday, and I'll see my team Tuesday. Okay? Sound good, everybody? All right. Good luck this week. Getting closer to that race. About 3 weeks out. We'll see you all. Have a good week.